like to call to order the town board meeting. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Flamini?
Here.
Trustee Hill?
Here.
Trustee Deteen?
Here.
Trustee Taylor? Chairman Neal?
Here. First item is to approve the minutes of the regular meeting held on June 17th, 2014 at 6:30 p.m. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve the minutes.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second, any discussion? Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Flamini?
Aye.
Trustee Hill?
Aye.
Trustee Deteen?
Aye.
Chairman Neal?
Aye. Next item is authorized bills for payment. Would one of you and Jim Stead like to make that motion?
Move for approval of the total bill of bills in the amount of $88,561.75.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Flamini?
Aye.
Trustee Hill?
Aye.
Trustee Deteen?
Aye.
Chairman Neal?
Aye. Next item is to open a public hearing for the appropriation ordinance of the Township of Zion for fiscal year May 1st, 2014 through April 30th, 2015. So open the public hearing at 6:32. Are there any comments for that? We passed the budget a while ago. This is the appropriation, and it just gives a little bit of leg room if something comes up. It's a formality for that. Are there any comments? Going once? Going twice? Okay, the public hearing is now closed at 6:33. Next item on the agenda is consider approval for 2014-02 appropriation ordinance of the Township of Zion for fiscal year May 1, 2014 through April 30th, 2015.
Move approval of 2014-2 appropriation ordinance Township of Zion for fiscal year 2014 through April 30th, 2015.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion, a second, and a third. Any discussion?
Just for the public's benefit, the total appropriation was $1.2 million, $48,346, correct?
Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Flamini?
Aye.
Trustee Hill?
Aye.
Trustee Deteen?
Aye.
Chairman Neal?
Aye. Item 7, assessor's report.
Oh, it's a good time of year. Assessments will be published tomorrow. Last day to file appeal will be August 15th. Most commercial and residential properties will probably see a reduction of about 6% in their assessment. I'd like to remind people that there's no reason to hire a tax rep, that our office is open and we'll be more than happy to help you with any assessment problem or error that you might have. I can't stress enough that you do not need to hire a tax rep. Also, I'd like to remind everybody that next year is the general reassessment year, which means all properties in Zion Township will be revalued. And last but not least, I put a copy of the press release in front of you guys. That's it.
A press release. Okay, and just to add to what Larry was saying, I had one senior in particular came to my office just really a mess because she was being harassed by a company that she had allowed them to go to bat for her to see if she could get her taxes lowered, and they actually charged her, or assessed lower, and they actually charged her whatever the taxes were that she saved, that amount, and if she didn't pay it on time, it was doubled. So, and there was no way out of it because she signed a contract, did not know what she was doing, and the really sad state of the matter was she could have gone to our assessor and done it herself. It's a little complicated.
Please don't go to tax reps, that's all I can say.
Yeah.
Please don't go. We'll do anything we can to help you. We'll help you find your comps, we'll do whatever we can, but these guys are not good people.
Larry, wasn't there, I thought there was a meeting last year across the street, and the subject of the meeting, I thought, was that
They have eliminated the tax reps, but what these tax reps have done now is they've hired attorneys to be on staff. So that's how they've got around the law.
okay.
So again, if you get the little blue cards in the mail, which I've already seen people come with, the little blue card that says we can lower your assessment, don't fall into the trap because it's huge money. They get 25% of the tax savings plus a $500 fee. And like Sherry just mentioned, if you don't pay on time, the fees double. So it's just not worth it. Especially this year, since it's the last year in the quad, because next year I'm revaluing everything. So if I lower your property value down to $80,000, I'm gonna revalue it next year. It's probably gonna go back up anyways. So stay away, please.
Didn't you have trouble, didn't somebody that you knew had trouble with the same thing last year?
That was the situation that I was talking about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yes, that was the situation. Excellent, thanks, Ed. Okay, next item is supervisor's report. The monthly report is in front of you, and it's available on the website for anybody. And just to share with you, if you look at our monthly report, each month we give just an outline of what we've been doing in the office, the incoming calls. We have 314, 57 walk-in clients. We do bus passes, the Meals on Wheels. We serve, working with Catholic Charities, serve 539 meals. Senior Resource Day event, we had 180 seniors. Sent out 76 senior birthday cards. Summer work program, we currently have 33 kids in the program. 1 moved and 1 quit. Resource referrals, we've done total referrals made were 102 last month. And then we have 17 general assistance clients that have been approved and 20 appointments. So emergency assistance, we actually had 13. And as in my report, just to share with everybody, I'll skip down quick. Zion Township staff were able to access $68,614 in assistance for Zion residents with the LIHEAP heating program from September 13th through May of 2014. So the situation is that anybody that wants to go through the state's cooling program or LIHEAP energy assistance, they have to go down to the CAP office in Waukegan. Well, the appointments you can't get in for, because it's pretty extensive wait list. And so they worked with the townships that we could actually complete the application. So not just this year, it changed. We got a meeting with LIHEAP, North Shore Gas, and ComEd, because one of the situations was that if an individual went to CAP, they could access the ComEd and the North Shore Gas, other funds that they have for the community. If they went through the townships, we couldn't do those applications. So I was able to get a meeting with everybody at the table, and we changed it to where the townships can complete the applications for the 2 energy agencies. So that helped a lot.
And what is that program?
It's for low income and seniors that are having a hard time paying their utility bills. So it's money that helps them to keep their utilities from being disconnected. So what happens in a lot of situations is people come to us with a disconnect notice. And so then we access those funds to be able to help with it, and then it alleviates us from using the emergency assistance funds. There's another program though that just is, it's not, you don't have to be in arrears or ready, to be disconnected, and that's the cooling program right now, and there's a lot of seniors. But it was a very small window. There wasn't a lot of money that was available. Bethesda Village was one of them that CAP used to actually have a case manager go to their building and fill out the applications to help people get that assistance, and they wouldn't do that this year. So we're actually sending, Adriana's is going to be going over there on Thursday afternoon to do that. So
I'm sorry, where does the money come from?
I would think that, our taxes, I'm
But
sure.
the LIHEAP comes from if you check on your gas bill, you want to give $1 or on your electric bill.
Those are the 2 other programs, but the other one is it's a state-funded and a federally funded program. So we had 8 approved applications for emergency assistance last month, 4 for housing and 4 for utilities, which totaled $2,865.21. The emergency transportation program, which we started for an individual, especially to have refer if there's somebody, like there's a lot of situations where somebody will be at Jewel and they'll be asking people for money because they need gas money to get to their kids in the hospital in Chicago. And I'm not saying it's not true, it's always true. Nobody would be scamming, saying those things, I'm sure. But it gives residents an opportunity to send them to the township so that we can help them get, that was tongue in cheek, just if anybody wasn't sure. But if anybody wants to, needs that assistance, they can send them to the township and we can actually assess the situation and help them. And we have a one-time transportation, emergency transportation that we'll do in either a gas voucher or a bus pass to help people with that. So in the summertime, it happens quite a bit. So if anybody comes across anyone, recommend that they stop by Zion Township for that.
You know what, Sherry? When these people approach a lot of senior citizens, they're just like leeches. They don't let them go till they extract something from them, and it is a problem at times.
Yeah.
But it would be nice if we had some way to deal with them other than law enforcement. But it's a real problem. They do hang out at Jewel and Walmart. I've seen them there. I run them off and other places in town here. It's a bad thing. And I hope that people are aware of what's going on when these people approach them. I was up at the post office the other day, and there were two young men up there that they had been standing there 2 days. I had quite a talk with them, and I found out that they really were for real. So, everybody doesn't fall in the same category. But they weren't really pressuring anybody. They were just asking for help. But I've had them actually pressure me, knock on my window in my car and pressure me. And then, of course, there's a little old lady that lived down the road here that pressured everybody. Is she around yet?
No, she's not around. She passed away.
I'm glad, heaven forsake, that she moved along.
So there was actually quite an effort like 5 years ago to do something, and we had thought that if we tapped 25,000, then we would be home rule. And there's some really good ordinances if you're home rule to help people to not panhandle. Springfield, as a matter of fact, they have signs up on every business that says absolutely no panhandling, and it has the ordinance. And so we can't do that. So we just try and create an atmosphere where if anybody is looking for a place to send people, they can just say, you really need to go to the township. That I'm not in a place to do that. So.
How did things work out today?
You're talking about with the building where the water was shut off on Monday, and there's eight units that all have tenants in them that they have to all be out by Friday. We're in the process of working with the housing authority to see which of those families are through the Lake County Housing Authority, because they'll work with those. So far, we have 2 families that called us. There's a lot more information. They've had a lot of time to know that this was coming, but we'll still sit down with each one of them.
I guess it just strikes me as I guess it just strikes me as I don't know. I certainly don't have an answer, but it strikes me as, what's the word? I don't even know what the word is, but if a landlord doesn't pay his water bill, we shut the water off, and then the tenants are the ones that are stuck, and they get evicted, and it's like, what's wrong with this picture?
Right.
I mean, I don't have a solution for it, because then nobody would pay their water bills, but I don't know there seems to me there should be something better in place than just evicting people, because the landlord's not doing what he's supposed to be doing.
Right.
And I know they've had trouble with a lot of this throughout the country with large apartment complexes and the companies going bankrupt and they're not paying the bills, and then the tenants get evicted. But this just doesn't seem. It seems.
Well, I work with your team, Bob Strano specifically. I had a long talk with him, and they had been making sure that the tenants knew for a little bit of time that this was going to be coming. And he was pretty confident that none of them had been paying rent for a while, so that they should have some money to help them with the transition, because I was told that the landlord is going into foreclosure, and the water bill is $8,000, and there's a lot of other building issues. So, but my staff will sit down with everybody and help them come up with a solution and do that. So we had another situation today, an 80-year-old and an 84-year-old were evicted from a different situation. So working with different agencies to find some solutions for that and deal with that. So
Do you have any idea how many seniors or children were involved in this?
I know. Yeah, I didn't have any of that information. The only thing that I was told was that all 8 units were were rented and that all the units were closed down, so waiting to find that out. So thanks for asking. Yeah, so that's the day-to-day work that we do, the fun stuff. But I'm just grateful that people have a place that they can go to Concord when they don't know where else to go. You know, I mean, if they didn't have that and we couldn't help them figure out some solutions, it would be a sad state, so.
Right. And I appreciate all you guys are doing. It's just,
Yeah.
it seems
It's crazy stuff.
kind of cold.
Yeah, so, like I said before, the State of Illinois Cooling Program, more information that's running through July 23rd or until funds run out. And so Zion Township staff are doing all they can to accommodate residents with those funds, so. Yeah, not sure, I'm guessing by the end of the week that money will be used up, so. Additionally, the Community Character project is in full swing. Anybody that is interesting, I'm begging for you to go to www.zbchc.com. It stands for Zion Benton Coalition for Healthy Communities, zbchc.com. And on that page on the top, there's a character button, and you click on that, and it's got a video that explains everything and a survey that you can take to put in your vote on what you think the core words that we want our community to live by will be. So hoping to get as much participation in that as absolutely possible. Our next meeting for the organization of it is on Thursday, August 7th at the Zion Benton Public Library from 6:30 until 8. And then additionally, just to make sure everybody knows about it, on September 11th at the band show, Kirk Henderson and a whole committee of us have been working really hard to put together a character walk just to really show the community that you know, a lot of people, and Kirk Henderson, the deputy chief, is really good at explaining this, but you know, it comes to a point where sometimes we think that like the good in our community is maybe 60% and the bad is 40%. When Kirk, you know, touts that the highest number that he could come up with is 2%, and most of that 2% doesn't even live in Zion, that comes through here and causes the trouble. And it's just a night to celebrate the 98% of all the incredible things that we're doing. He's already rallied the Red Hatters to be there and every other club and organization to just do a really cool community night. So that's on September 11th at 6 p.m. at the band show. They're going to be walking over by the police department for a movie in the park. Additionally, just a reminder, consumer credit counseling services are available at Zion Township every Thursday. They're in our office. If anybody, even if you're not like in dire straits, if you'd like to sit down with somebody because there's nobody to talk about your money with, and just make sure that things are going okay, or if you're a mess and you got nobody to talk with, Gregorio from Consumer Credit Counseling Services, every single person that walks out of that office is so grateful that he's there. So, I'm just making sure the community knows, take advantage of that, because it's a really good opportunity, and it really does change your life when you can have those conversations and come up with a plan for that. So, also Gail and I met with Carol Hinker from Zion District 6 to see how we can collaborate with them on the Community Schools Initiative. I really want to give a shout out to Zion Schools for taking on this program. We've been looking at it through Crew. We looked at it 10 years ago, and a huge group, the whole Crew board went to Chicago for a full conference on community schools. And so to see District 6 taking this on, it's huge, but it is going to impact our community in a large way. It's a focus on helping to have the resources in the schools to help the families, and to address it holistically instead of piecemeal. So I'm really looking forward to supporting them with that effort. And then last but not least, I had mentioned last month that I was working with Melinda Bush's office and Job Center Lake County and Affordable Housing of Lake County to put on a job fair. Well, then we got notified that Congressman Brad Snyder's office is having a job fair on August 14th. And IDES, Illinois Department of Employment Services, probably wouldn't be interested in doing one 2 months later. So we're going to push Congressman Snyder's job fair to everybody, and then look at doing an annual job fair in the spring, so probably in March or April. at the Park District. Marilyn Krieger, the Park District's fully on board as a partner with that project. So the goal is to have a yearly event so that everybody knows it's going to be this date every year so that they can plan for it. But if you're interested in more information on Congressman Snyder's job fair that he's hosting on the Zion Township website under the supervisor's report, I've got the address that you can RSVP to. So that is all that I have. Are there any citizens' comments? Really? Good evening, Governor.
Madam Chairman,
Yes.
trustees, I'm W.C. Brenner, 2525 Elam. I subscribe to a magazine, Illinois Outdoors. There was an interesting item in it which I would call to your collective attention with your indulgence. It is short. I would read it to you in its entirety. Because it involves money, frankly. The city of Evanston was awarded $188,352 from the Department of Natural Resources Youth Recreation Corps to support summer jobs for Evanston youth age 14 to 18. The mayor of Evanston said that this important award from the DNR will help Evanston provide more than 60 jobs for teens who want to be active and employed this summer. The Illinois Youth Recreation Corps was established for making grants to local governments and not-for-profit entities to provide wages to youth operating and instructing in recreational and conservation programs. Employees hired under this program will provide recreational instruction for children of all age levels who participate in programs at the city's rec centers and attend summer camps. Now, I don't know how this would fit in with your programs, but it is money that could be available.
Gotcha. No,
I think it's
appreciate it.
probably too late for this year, but as they always say at Wrigley's Field, just wait till next year. With your permission, I'll
Yes, please. I would appreciate that. And we were able to, this summer, because of an incredible partnership, thank you, sir, very much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. I appreciate you keeping your eyes out there for us to, help us to shore up whatever we can in this interesting time. So thank you.
I do appreciate your time, your courtesy, and your attention to this matter.
Thank you, sir. So, like I said, we were able to, through the Job Center of Lake County, we hired 35 kids this summer. The county actually pays, it's a program similar to this. They pay for the kids' wages, and then we just provide the supervisor for the program. And in an effort to save additional funds in the program this year, we partnered with the Zion Park District, and they actually provided the wage for one of our supervisors. And those kids' crews are working all in Park District programs or projects this summer. So we did find a way to do that. And it's interesting because 35 seems like so few kids, but it's how many kids we had when I got elected. They always hired, that many kids to just cut the grass. And so it feels like a lot that we've cut back, but at least we haven't gone less than when I got elected. So I'm proud of the program, and hopefully in a couple of years we'll be able to bring it back up, and we will definitely check this out. So thank you very much. I appreciate that, Mr. Brenner. So, is there anything else to come before the board?
I have one. I don't have all of the details yet, but tomorrow afternoon about 1 o'clock, a steel beam from the World Trade Center will be arriving in Zion. It's making its way from the World Trade Center to McKinney Steel to be prepped as part of a war memorial that will either be erected in Waukegan or Wakanda. And I can't get any more details because it's being brought by J.A. Freight, and the president of J.A. Freight, Joe Alger, is driving the truck himself, and of course, he can't text while he's driving. But
It's Thursday, not tomorrow.
I'm sorry, you're right, it is Thursday. It should be here about 1 o'clock.
Thank you.
I'm glad you knew about it because I was going to call you.
Found out,
I was
yes. Right before I got here.
Oh, perfect. Okay. Is there anything else to come before the town board? If not, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved. Second.
Motion second. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Flamini?
Aye.
Trustee Hill?
Aye.
Trustee Deteen?
Aye.
Chairman Neal?
Aye.